My friends, thank you so very much for watching this video. We are winning the war to save pop culture from the cultural vandals that assail it, but we need your help. Please subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell, and from time to time check to make sure you haven't been unsubscribed by YouTube without your knowledge. It happens to random subscribers every day. I also started listing links to all my videos and live streams for free over at patreon.com/doomcock, and you do not have to be a member to view them. They're visible to the public for free. Thanks also to all of you who liked our videos and sent us a tip by clicking the super thanks button, and as always I promise to answer each and every super thanks I receive. Thanks for watching everyone, and now on to the video. It's official, my friends. As far as corporate America goes, DEI is now DIE. Corporations are looking around at how many companies have gone broke because they went woke, and on the advice of lawyers, my friends, the tide is now turning against DIE and all the hidden racism and sexism behind this social re-engineering experiment, according to an article in Bloomberg titled "Wall Street Banks Begin a DEI Retreat as Fear of Backlash Looms." That's right, people. Reality is relentless. It has a way of chipping away against false narratives and political propaganda, bringing crazed activists back down to earth and turning their sacred cows into hamburger. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me explain. It's clear to me, and to anyone whose mind isn't clouded with brainwashed double standards, that any form of discrimination is wrong. The SJWs of the world falsely maintain that people of color, members of the LGBTQIA-MOUSE community, and women cannot possibly be racist or sexist because they're victims of these very same crimes. To which I reply, hogwash. Whenever you isolate someone and treat them differently because of their race or sex or sexual preference, that's racism, that's sexism, and that's discrimination, period. What Gene Roddenberry and, by extension, Captain Kirk understood, the same rules must apply to everyone, period. As Kirk said of the Declaration of Independence on a world evolved to be a parallel Earth in the Omega glory, quote,
"These words, and the words that follow, were not written only for the Yangs, but for the Combs as well. They must apply to everyone, or they mean nothing. Do you understand?"
Sadly, too many people either did not watch Star Trek or did not understand it. Prejudice, bigotry, discrimination, they're like viruses. To eradicate a virus, all instances of it must be destroyed. That's the bottom line. You cannot decide, well, we're going to eliminate this virus, except we'll use it in some situations to infect our enemies. Well, you do that, and guess what? It spreads again. And that's the situation we're in with DIE. When you exclude white people from programs, from jobs, from having a voice in the corporate culture, from being a key demographic that you cater to, you're allowing the virus of discrimination to thrive. You're extinguishing it everywhere except when it comes to white people, because they really deserve it, according to the grievance culture crowd. To their way of thinking, white people have been colonizers and oppressors throughout history, and so it's time for them to get their comeuppance, to be an outcast from life's feast, as James Joyce put it in his short story, The Dead. And while it's fun to go ahead and use discrimination against the people you hate because they really deserve it, it keeps the discrimination virus alive, and then it can rage around, infecting more people until the backlash comes, and suddenly, they're on top again, discriminating against you in revenge. Using discrimination to fight against discrimination sounds peachy keen if you thrive on grievance, but when it comes to actual anti-discrimination laws and judgment in the court of public opinion, it ain't so peachy keen anymore. Indeed, it's downright dangerous, because at some point, the law recognizes discrimination when they see it, and things have gotten so bad, according to Bloomberg, corporations are retreating from the worst excesses of wokeness on the advice of their lawyers.
It was bound to happen, Doomcock. There's no doubt about it. This is exclusionary and discriminatory to bar straight white males from opportunities simply because they're straight white males. How would courts respond to gay black males being systematically denied opportunities in white male-only corporate programs? It's indefensible from a legal point of view, dude.
And that's the reality of the situation, Hardy Cthulhu, for companies who are waking up from their DIE binges with a hangover, soaked in flop sweat, and with billions of lost revenue from their lost woke weekends. Don't believe me? Then let's see what Bloomberg has to say with their latest article on the matter. In this article, they write, quote, Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated has made a surprising change to its Possibilities Summit for black college students. It's opened the program to white students. That's just one of many changes happening on Wall Street to diversity, equity, and inclusion programs as fears of backlash and lawsuits snowball. The lawyerly tweaks, as executives are calling them, are starting to add up. And in an industry still dominated by white men, the changes could set back minor progress made in recent years, unquote.
Well, I wouldn't categorize the divisive and exclusionary practices of racism masquerading as virtue as progress exactly. All it's doing is perpetuating the nastiness of bigotry and stirring up anger and resentment, fueling a backlash that when it comes will be ferocious, setting back the cause of equality for decades. Clearly, as Bloomberg is telling us, Wall Street sees that backlash coming. And so they're trying to jump ahead of the explosion like Jack Bauer waiting for Chloe to open a socket. Whatever the fuck a socket is.
Chloe sure did like opening sockets, dude. There's no doubt about it. She was a socketaholic, but that's neither here nor there. The article continues, quote, At Bank of America Corp, certain internal programs that used to focus on women and minorities have been broadened to include everyone. And at Bank of New York Mellon Corp, executives are being urged to reconsider hard metrics for workforce diversity. Lose them, lawyers have advised. This is what diversity, equity, and inclusion looks like on Wall Street today. Anxious, fraught, and changing fast. From C-suites down, American finance is quietly reassessing its promises to level the playing field. The growing conservative assault on DIE, coupled with pockets of resentment among white employees, have executives moving to head off accusations of reverse discrimination. It's not just Wall Street. In recent weeks, Zoom Video Communications Inc. cut its internal DIE team amid broader layoffs, and Tesla Inc. removed language about minority workers from a regulatory filing. The seemingly small changes, lawyerly tweaks executives call them, are starting to add up to something big. The end of a watershed era for diversity in the U.S. workplace and the start of a new, uncertain one. We're past the peak, said Subha Bari, former head of diversity at Merrill Lynch, unquote.
As Yoda would put it, begun, the woke retreat has. This is long overdue, dude. This is ridiculous stuff. The notion that you can make past discrimination right by using discrimination now. That shit may play for brainwashed grievance culture junkies, but it doesn't hold up to logical scrutiny, lawsuits, or just plain common sense. Ava J. Cthulhu. Common sense is in woefully short supply these days.
Amen, O Skull of Calderon. Although it seems that in many regards, common sense is coming back in style, as this article points out. The thing is, these SJWs don't want equality of opportunity. They want equality of outcome, no matter the abilities, achievements, or qualifications of the people involved. Life is a struggle, my friends. There's just no two ways about it. There are winners and there are losers. It's sad, but it's a fact. And trying to make it so that people of color, gays, and women get a leg up on everyone else in competition because of past injustices is simply untenable. However, the fact remains that everyone should have equal opportunities. Everyone should have a chance for their talents and achievements to shine, regardless of their race or sex or preference. The way to achieve this is not in the workplace, but earlier, in schools. to make damn sure every single kid receives the chance to shine in their academic career so that when they get out into the marketplace, they don't need an unfair handout, they just need to be heard, and their excellence will speak for itself. And in schools, minority children who are disadvantaged should have every single opportunity and assistance in elevating their game. I think that that is a fair thing to say. Any other way forward, however, is just being part of the problem, and thankfully corporate America is starting to realize this fundamental truth. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.
Ha 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 ha.